So Kendrick Lamar just announced that he will be releasing his final Top Dog Entertainment album. What does this mean? It means that Kendrick Lamar will be releasing his final top. He has a statement with it that I have not read yet, so let's read it together. All right, I'm gonna try my best not to sound like the kid off Billy Madison. I spend most of my days with fleeting thoughts, writing, listening, and collecting old beach cruisers. What does that mean, bro? The morning rides keep me up on a hill of silence. I go months without a phone. I don't see how you do that. In this day and age, that's crazy. Love, loss, and grief have disturbed my comfort zone, but the glimmers of God speak through my family and music. I told myself I wasn't gonna screw up the reading. It sounds like a song right now, low key. While the world around me, the life in which my words will land next. As I produce my final TDE album, I feel joy to have been a part of such a cultural imprint after 17 years. Struggles, the success, and most importantly, the bitches, the brotherhood. May the Most High continue to use Top Dog as a vessel for candid creators as I continue to pursue my life's calling. There's beauty in completion. Oh my God, he's spitting right now. He's spitting. There's beauty in completion. This is about to make me shed a tear. Why? Because what do you mean? What do you mean completion? This ain't complete. I'm gonna need you to keep making albums till you die. And always faith in the unknown. Thank you for keeping me in your thoughts. I pray for you all. See you soon enough. The immediate question is why and what? First, what does this mean? Kendrick Lamar is releasing his final album on the Top Dog Entertainment label. Now, this gives other people hope, I'm sure, that there's this label that Kendrick started promoting not long ago. I think it's PFLANG. I'm pretty sure something like that. And that in light of him retiring his music off of TDE, he'll likely start releasing music on this new label. But what makes me think that that's probably not gonna happen is just the tonality of what's written here. And I know tonality doesn't really go with this as it's all written, but it's written in kind of like a finalized way, you know, in a way that doesn't really get me to believe that he's exiting one chapter musically and then entering another chapter musically. Like, this sounds very final. This sounds very, as he says, there's a beauty in completion. The music isn't necessarily complete just because you go from one label to the next. Completion to me sounds like an ending of a chapter, an ending of a book, you know, and you're entering a new phase in your life. He even says that halfway through this writing, in faith in the unknown. Like, him entering unknown territory, in my opinion. Maybe he's going to emerge in a new light in a way that we haven't seen him before. So I don't know, maybe he could be referring to, oh, okay, the new territory or this new space may be another genre. It may be more uncharted territory musically, but I just don't feel like that. It does feel very final. And y'all know I've been on this, I won't say Kendrick Lamar hate train the past couple years since Damn is released, but I haven't been as excited about a Kendrick Lamar release, not because I think it's going to be bad. Quarantine in this pandemic have really strongly affected me in what I get enjoyment out of. It slowed me down a lot, you know, because before in 2018, 2019, a very, very small portion of 2020, I was on go mode. You know what I mean? I wasn't really having to think about too much, even though I think I'm a considerate person. I wasn't having to think about too much. But that year and this year, it slowed me down to a point where it's like anything anyone says and or does, I've been so far removed from. Like, I feel like I've just really been existing in my own space, in the presence, and the only presence that I've cared about most recently has been my own. So when Kendrick Lamar is talking about, you know, I go months without a phone, or, you know, I spend these morning drives, you know, going up a hill, and all of this seclusion and all this solitude, basically, I'm not saying that I understand him, because obviously I'm not Kendrick or anything like that, but I can see, especially in these 2 recent years, I can see how these last few years can put you in a different state of mind. To be honest with you, I don't think we get this message without the pandemic. I don't. I really don't. I do think that Kendrick Lamar was likely to retire at some point, but I just don't think it's got nothing to do with the massive amount of solitude that we've all been forced to endure over the last couple years. And the thing is, even when everything goes back to normal, my mind just isn't programmed to go back to normal. My mind is no longer programmed for go mode. And when you have that much time to think about other endeavors, other interests, other passions in life, maybe, I could very strongly see Kendrick Lamar saying, you know what, musically, I might not be inspired by anything at the moment. I might not feel that same urge to write about the things that are happening in my life in the same way that another person would express them through different avenues. I might not have that same interest in putting it out there in that way. We've heard how deep he's gone into his own psyche. More often than not, he peels back layers that, you know, mainstream hip hop makes you think is non-existent to a rap artist, sticking that Q-tip well beyond the entry point. Pause. Even though I think it's a horrible thing, just everything that's happened in the past couple of years, even if Kendrick wanted to make this entire album about one particular thing, in my opinion, like I've been thinking about posthumous releases, the Pop Smoke record that came out recently, Juice WRLD records that are coming out, the XXXTentacion verses that are being used, hell, even DMX, like none of these artists were safe from being pimped posthumously. None of these artists were safe from having their music come out and not have a say in whether or not it would come out, even if they had intentions for it to come out. If he decided, you know, I don't want to be a part of this industry, or I want to be on my own label, not because I think Top would do something like that, but because I don't want that to be up for discussion for anyone else. I don't want anyone else to have the power to release what was a part of my mental without my consent just because I died. Maybe, I mean, all of these things could be reasons that lead toward why he wants to be the head of his own music company or media company, and maybe he's just going to go about things a completely different way. I don't know. At the end of the day, an update that I would hate to see from Kendrick is new music that teeters on trying its best to cover what's happening in the landscape currently, and feeling like this sense of responsibility that he's placed on himself because people have put him on this pedestal artistically, that you have to give artistic commentary and paint it in a way that's emotional, heartfelt, and deep to the listener. And then I end up being disappointed because he feels this unnecessary pressure from people that will not stop comparing his future outputs to something like maybe A Good Kid, Mad City, or To Pimp a Butterfly. So I'm glad that at least from what I'm seeing through these characters, he doesn't seem to be affected by the pressure of the fan base. Does this mean that we're going to be getting the album soon? Kendrick says in this post, see you soon enough. I don't really think that means shit. We've been waiting on this Kanye record for the last month. That was supposed to come out, 3 weeks ago? Actually, a month and a half ago. Nothing. Drake was supposed to drop in January, tore his ACL. What that's got to do with his vocal box? Nothing. Dude's been talking like, oh, I'll see you in summer. Drake, my nigga, summer is literally over. It is August 20th. It's done. We don't have no music from you for the summer. We gonna end up waiting until 2022 at this point for Drake. It's not happening. This does remind me of like Erykah Badu in like Andre 3000 with the messaging and getting people prepared for what's about to happen. Y'all just don't realize how much respect I got for Kendrick Lamar after Damn. Not To Pimp a Butterfly, but after Damn. Because Damn, to me, is probably one of his most underrated records, only because of the level of expectation I hear on that record and the amount of responsibility it seemed he put on himself to kind of meet those expectations, even though he could never do it. You could never meet people's expectations, but it definitely felt like he was feeling the weight of To Pimp a Butterfly, of having to be significantly either more poignant, more descriptive, or better in some way than his last. Even if he doesn't say it, it just felt that way to me. The topics and the ideas on Damn are just so heavy to put on someone for a record that's the length of a Dragon Ball Z movie. I hope that this new record doesn't sound like he's collapsing under the weight and the pressure of his previous records, the success of his previous records. You know, and Kendrick's never really been trendy either, so the thought that he's going months without a phone just gives more credit to his artistic freedom and his creativity, because what that means is we're likely to get concepts and ideas that come directly from his own mind, not anything that's, you know, trendy or giving commentary on something that's hot because you want a hot one-liner to trend on, you know, Twitter or Instagram. I like what this message alludes to. Punches on Twitter being as cryptic as always, giving people something but giving them literally nothing at the exact same time. Like, I hate this nigga so much, yo. Punch is like the worst person in human history, dog. Like, I've never been so teased by a man in my life. I've gotten teased by women before, but like Punch is on an entirely different level, because even when I'm not looking to be teased or even play around in those waters, I still see tweets from him on my timeline. I don't follow this man. I want to block him low key. I guess this is such a big deal, honestly, because Kendrick Lamar is the only artist I could see speaking with such finality and it meaning something. He's the only artist I honestly believe would retire and not actually ever come out with any more music. Now, the opposite of this could also mean that he is still going to be releasing music under this new label. I do know that Baby Keem is a part of this label, if I'm not mistaken. Can't really say I'm emotional over this because I really don't know where this is going long term. Like, I don't really know what this means for the future of a Kendrick Lamar. We're probably still going to see him in some capacity. But artistically speaking, if this is the end, we have to hear the record first before I'm sad. You know, I have to hear what he says on these last songs, on these last pieces musically. I have to hear what he's going for before I feel really emotionally connected to these last moments from him artistically. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Hopefully we'll see within the next couple weeks. Usually with Kendrick Lamar, if he comes out of hiding, the music is usually pretty soon. He's not far off from J. Cole in that regard, that when music comes out or when they start to say something where they normally or otherwise wouldn't, music is usually a few weeks away. So we may get a single, we may get an album, a whole drop, a date just might get tweeted out of nowhere, who knows? So yeah, that's it. Hopefully this all ends well, and yeah, we out.